Ladies and gentlemen, Joseph the Interwebs out there, Sebastion Envi Strong Style Cinephile, your reigning defending SCW Cruiserweight Champion, of course, Ironheart. So let's geek about that for a scan few minutes because the first 3 episodes dropped on Disney Plus tonight. I just got done watching all 3 of this overly hated, overly review bombed before it even came out show, and have some thoughts. Number one, really not that bad of a show. Now, of course, Riri Williams in the comics was somebody who greatly admired and respected Tony Stark, looked up to him, reverse engineered a suit of armor like his, used to fight crime. Tony Stark saw her, and instead of kind of smacking her down, he was like, hey, I support you in what you're doing. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to be your mentor. And that's kind of how she got started in the comics. And I was kind of wondering, okay, since they didn't have that sort of direct tie in the MCU, how are they going to do that? And they didn't need to have them directly meet. I mean, I was like, oh, fuck, I'm overthinking this. Seeing it play out, you see early, like in the first couple minutes of the show, that she is somebody who clearly, because they name drop like Stark and Pym and Hammer, I think. Unless I'm misremembering. But they named, people that are famous for their technology and their companies and that sort of thing. So I mean, she knows who they are. You cannot meet somebody and still like look up to them and still want to be like them. So I was like, again, I was overthinking it clearly. She likes Stark. She wants to be like Stark. That's why she built Stark's suit. We find out early on that she has designs on it, just being able to help people, to help first responders respond sooner and that sort of thing. She has very altruistic, philanthropical, trying to think of other multi-syllabic words that I can say to sound smart. She just has some good ideas, some good intentions for her inventions that she wants to bring upon the world to make the world a better place. And that's heroic. That's good. Of course, she gets wrapped up because she gets booted out of MIT. No spoilers. I mean, that's what we see what happens in the trailer. We find out that she's been kind of, as a side hustle, making projects and stuff for area students of various schools and that sort of thing. That's not what she's supposed to do. She gets booted out of MIT and she's down on the luck. She still wants to do stuff, still wants to make things happen. And she gets wrapped up in the Hood and his crew. Slug, who I believe the actor, they were a contestant on RuPaul's Drag Race. I think I'd read the Blood siblings, who were the Blood brothers in the comics, Iron Man villains. So I can see some people shitting on this show because like she's taking some Iron Man villains. But the Blood siblings in this used to be the Blood brothers in the comics, where they had I believe like increased strength and durability. The closer proximity they were to each other, they tangled with Iron Man and some other heavy hitters in the comics. You had Clown, who was a pyrotechnic person, and you had the Hood, Parker, and his cousin John, who kind of tries to serve as this sort of like little birdie on his shoulder, trying to like help him think things through, make the logical, the smart decisions about these jobs and stuff that they're doing. Parker has this kind of grand scheme of them kind of rising up and making people take notice of them. But really, I think they strike out at these industry moguls, tech moguls, and trying to blackmail them to funnel money to them, make themselves rich. But you get kind of a drop at some point that maybe Parker has some specific personal reasons he's going after these people. I guess we'll find out in time. Riri gets like caught up in this group because she needs money to make her stuff, make her suit, upgrade her suit, and make the things that she wants to happen. So, of course, as I said in the video before, she's gonna get wrapped up. She's gonna figure out that Parker, the Hood, is on some crazy shit, which she finds out kind of early on that he's on some crazy shit, and she tries to get to the bottom of it, and ends up kicking off in the 3rd episode this sort of domino effect of like just terrible events, a series of unfortunate events that's gonna gets her caught up, gets Parker and John caught up. It's gonna get this dude that she meets along the way, this arms dealer dude who has a hard time standing up for himself, and then through talking to Riri, he grows a backbone. And we find out that he's got a very specific, wonderful Iron Man connection. So that was nice. I actually popped at that. Like when that reveal happened in episode 3, I actually popped for that. We found out that the other young lady that we see in some of the trailers promo material is Natalie. Natalie was Riri's best friend, who of course, like once they showed like the way they did the intro with her, the two of them talking about like their future goals and dreams and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, she's gonna like die, probably get shot, and that's what happens. Mild spoilers, sorry. That's what happens. And then she ends up coming back through this AI that Riri accidentally created. And I was kind of like, from some of the trailers, I was just kind of leery about her as a character. I hate when it's like Iron Man like show, so they have to have like a sort of like sarcastic like AI to talk to. So they're not just talking to themselves when they're in their suit and doing their superhero stuff. And it's like, here, Ironheart, gotta have like a, sarcastic, sassy, like AI that she talks to, because there's a bunch of scenes where it's just Riri in her suit doing stuff. So she, of course, can't, say shit to the crew and stuff. So she's got to have somebody to talk to. And that's where Natalie comes in. But as you get into it and you see some of the, I guess I don't want to say like layers that they add to Riri through Natalie and their friendship and what it meant, and the fact that this girl is coming, like her dead best friend is coming back as this AI that she accidentally created. That's like begrudgingly, she comes to accept it, and they work together. I guess mild spoiler, sorry. But I was kind of leery seeing her, like I said, the promotional material, but seeing her, how they did it in the show, how they carried her out, I'm fine with it. The show is just, it's got good characters. It's fun. It's funny in spots. It's not too over the top with the MCU, humor and the jokes and stuff like that. I saw where some early reviews had said like the show was, I think one review said the show was like boring until like the last episode. I thought the first episode was good. I thought the second episode was good. The second episode didn't have a lot of action to it. There's a lot of character development and stuff like that. And then the third episode, it's a bit more actiony. And it was good. And it sets up the stakes. The third episode, I guess, would you call like a mid-season finale? But it kind of ratcheted up the stakes, the danger that Riri had now finds herself in. Her arms dealer buddy, he's gonna get caught up by some things that, she borrowed something from him and it gets like left behind. So clearly, I mean, I'm thinking this anyway, I'm purely speculating that that's gonna get him caught up, that the Hood is gonna go after him at some point. Hood's probably gonna go after her family, her mother at some point. It was just a good show. Now, will this show, by the end of it, have some larger sort of reach into some of the upcoming MCU stuff, be it like Doomsday or anything that comes after that, remains to be seen. We're getting into some magical stuff, which I've read that they're going to get more into like supernatural, that sort of thing with the next phase of movies, or next phase of the MCU. Remains to be seen if that plays out. Hopefully there's just some good solid connections without making it just like, I never want them to like have to, or feel like they have to really shoehorn it in. Like Iron Man 2, that was one of the things that bugged me about Iron Man 2. It was like it takes a slant at some point in the middle to really hammer home like the world building and stuff that they're doing for the MCU at large at that point. And I think it took away from the film. I never want a film to do that again. Like the world building shouldn't have to be so just blatant. It just should feel like nice. Should be like a remark here, maybe a character here, um, situation there. Like it doesn't have to be so ham fisted and just like over the top, like beating you over the head, like they've done in the past. I don't think they did that with this thus far with these 3 episodes. Will they do it in the final 3 episodes? Remains to be seen. I got a week and then they'll drop. But I'm still like Anthony Ramos as the Hood, as Parker. Uh, I'm still kind of iffy on him. I was never a big like Ironheart fan. Never read a bunch like of her comics, so I don't have like that sort of knowledge to compare the adaptation from the comics to live action. I just have the live action to go on, and admittedly, and I've said before, like I wasn't really feeling Riri Williams and Dominic Thorne's performance as Riri, coming out of Wakanda Forever. I just wasn't. And maybe it was just overall like I wasn't feeling the movie as a whole. But I wasn't feeling her arc. I wasn't feeling her character. Now watching the show, like I feel like, I guess I understand her more. It allows for some of her, what drives her, some of her motivations, and just it allows her character just to shine more because it's her own show. She's not sharing the stage, the focus, the spotlight with anybody else. This is Ironheart. This is hers. The show serves to just make Riri Williams just a better fleshed out character for the MCU going forth. It sets her. It's going a long way to putting her over as a fully realized like character, that is interesting and that I want to see now mesh with other characters, other folks on the scene already that they're built. I'd love to see her and we got Miss Marvel putting together the Young Avengers. Maybe like it'll be like her and Kate Bishop and Riri and whoever else for their team. Like leaning. I mean, I'm warming up to the idea of seeing just that, or just seeing Riri interact with other folks in the MCU. So this show is good for that. If you're just, and it's like I said, overly hated by people who don't like claim they want comic book accuracy, but then you give them comic book stuff and they don't want comic book stuff just because it's somebody who's melanated, it's somebody who is female, or they them pronoun users, and they just hate it for that reason. Like it's just like, as I said previous video, like maybe the show just isn't for you. That doesn't mean the show is bad. I had somebody comment on my video that like they weren't going to watch it because they already knew it was going to be bad. I'm like, how do you know? Nobody has seen it. The fact that it got review bombed, I think I saw something on Rotten Tomatoes from somebody else's TikTok video, it got down to like 32% or something like that, and it hadn't even dropped. Like that type of shit's just stupid. Like if it's not for you, it's not for you. That doesn't mean it's a bad show that you need to shit on just because it's not for you. That shit's just so dumb. Watch it, give it a shot. If it's not for you, it's not. I go back to the example of Agatha. Agatha, after all, whatever the hell the show's name was, I watched like 2 episodes of that. It wasn't for me. It's got rave reviews. A lot of people like it. A lot of people talk about it glowingly, everything. It just wasn't for me. I'm not going to go on there and just say how shitty the show was and this and that and everything. I'm just going to say I watched it. It wasn't for me. And I'm going to move on to things that are for me, like building Warhammer 40K models. But I'm not going to just go review bomb it or write, rage-tastic or film rage-tastic videos, lambasting it and stuff for this or that, or, woke this and that and all that type of bullshit that like goes on with these projects. Watch it, give it a shot. That's all I gotta. I mean, you might like it, you may not like it. I liked it thus far. I'm curious to kind of see how things play out in the next 3 episodes next week. I will be watching it for sure. Like I said, great characters, has decent action for like when they did the action, it was earned. Like it wasn't there just to be there. I mean, you needed some action at this point. The person who said the show was like boring. I mean, as compared to what? Like, what were you expecting? Um, it's a good fun show. Dominique Thorne is fleshed out and given us great range in her performance. With some of the stuff she's dealing with, the grief, the trauma that she, is processing or neglecting for certain points, and now kind of dealing with it and that sort of thing. Again, it's kind of going back. It just hits you in some certain levels and ways that you don't expect. Um, that's good. That's what we need from the MCU going forth. We need smaller, more intimate, more connected, or stories that touch emotions and spur reactions in you, just not just the big CG like spectacle, like the big hollow CG spectacle. We don't need any more of that. We're gonna get it in Doomsday. I'm sure there's gonna be a faceless, nameless army of clones or duplicates or Doombots. That's we're gonna have the whole like here are all the heroes and they're all the Doombots and Doom standing beside them and they just run at each other, the charge and the fight and all that kind of shit. Like, cool, but having smaller, scale down, intimate stakes and circumstances, that's fine too. We don't need the big CG schmoz with everything. This show is giving us that. So I'm here for it. It's good. That's the cliff notes of this video. The show is good. The show is something you should check out. If it's not for you, then it's not for you. But if you honestly checked it out, didn't approach it walking into saying, I'm going to hate this because of this or that, you're not a racist, you're not a misogynistic asshole, give it a shot. Otherwise, don't. Go watch shit you enjoy that makes you happy. Don't just come over here and be miserable and shit on this because you don't like it doesn't resonate with you. Like, anyway. Oh, I probably went on a tangent. Didn't really I just didn't want to get into down and dirty and some of the details and the spoilers and stuff like that. We can do spoilery shit after the show's over. It's good. Go watch it. Try it out. See if it fits. If it doesn't, that's okay. You know what I mean? Anyway, those are my thoughts on it. Scattered as they often are. What do you guys out there think? Let me know in the comments below. Follow me on social media. Talk to me there. Talk to me here. Until next time, of course. Fuck Nazis and Nazi sympathizers always and forever. Let us geek.